Hello, Steve White. Trekboy89 for Steve Arts 89. Now, this is technically a Battlestar Galactica video in a way because I'm talking about the time I was fortunate enough to accidentally meet Katie Sackhoff. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the original show. I think I sort of saw it when I was a kid, and I did watch it on DVD, and I did like it. And the new show, I appreciated it creatively, but I didn't really enjoy it. It was too dark. It was too hard. There was one episode where they were, I can't even say what they were doing, and you know the episode. If you've seen the series, you know the episode I'm talking about. It was just disturbing and brutal, and I don't care how real that is to the real world. I don't want to see it in my science fiction. Science fiction is my escapism. This was the real world, and that's what they always. It's like these people who can't engage in fantasy and can't enjoy sort of creating these sort of fantasy worlds to live in. They have to sort of bring everything down to our world and reality, and they kind of ruin it. But Katie was at a convention. I think it was one of the bigger ones. I think it must have been Oz Comic Con. I can't remember which one it was. I didn't know she was actually there. I went to one of the rooms where they were doing the Q&As to line up for, I think it was Carl Urban. I always forget I've met Carl Urban. I don't know why. I actually met one of the actors from the New Trek films. I didn't meet... actually, no, I met all three of them. I keep forgetting. I met them all. And I was waiting in the line. There was this big line because, the place was full because she'd just done her talk. And I did actually realise she was there and wanted to see the talk, but there was a big line. I couldn't get in. I just thought, going for the next one, it's okay. I mean, she's cool. She was also in Halloween Resurrection, so she's a Halloween fan, actor and everything. And as the people were coming out and the lines were there, all got really congested, and they were trying to get her out, and it just got really crowded. And all of a sudden, I find myself shoved into this little section where there was a door, and there was like a little doorway, and there was a door behind us, and I'm just there with Katie Sackhoff because they were trying to get her out, and there was too many people, and she had to sort of step into this space while they could clear the space out so she could get out. So we're just standing there, and the security's there, and they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them like, hi, how are you? How's the convention? Okay, I guess this happens to you a lot, being like a star and everything. She said, yeah, sometimes, yeah, it's a bit, and we'll just chat. And she's like, they got to get her out. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you, see you. She went. I'm like, wow, I just met Katie Sackhoff, just me. But yeah, I didn't get to ask her any real questions or talk about the show or anything. I didn't see the presentation, all that. But it was just this weird little moment. And I've heard of little things like that. I mean, conventions where people sort of end up in elevators with people and stuff like that. And they're like, oh my God, that's so-and-so. And yeah, it was just like, oh my God, I just got shoved in a doorway with Katie Sackhoff. But yeah, I loved her on the show. I didn't actually realise, honestly, that she was in Halloween H2O for a couple of years. No, sorry, a Resurrection for a couple of years. And then I realised, wow, that's a young Katie Sackhoff. Playing a really very different character from the characters she usually played. She wasn't sexy and harsh or anything. She was just really bubbly and perky and a little annoying, but in a fun sort of way. And I'm like, every time now I watch a Halloween film, it's like I've met one of the and I met Jamie Lee Curtis after that anyway. So, but until then, she was like my Halloween star. But I just wanted to share that weird little moment with her, and didn't get an autograph or anything, obviously, or a selfie or anything. I probably could have asked, but the security was kind of big and looking at me, and I'm like, why do you look at you're twice my size? What am I going to do? Stop looking at me like that, because they can be a bit like that. Those guys, they're a bit full on. Like Patrick Stewart's security guy. He kept looking at me. I'm like, why is he looking at me? And then I realized, oh, he was the security at Cyndi Lauper's concert when she came out into the crowd, and she was like there with me and that, and he was watching, and I almost think he recognized me because I think they picked me. That's another story I have to talk about. But it was just really weird because I'm like, why is this guy looking at me? I'm like, oh, that's the same security guard from that event. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, they're very observant people. So I'm going to go. I'm talking about a bunch of other stuff. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.